This show was created with the sole purpose of being able to inspire other people and to be able to give back.
How to build an empire? This is a question I've been asking myself for over a decade. This is a question that people ask me all the time. How are you doing what you're doing? How are you building what you're building? How are you running so many businesses? How are you investing in so many people and so many companies? How are you having the relationships that you have with so many people? How do you know so many people? How are you raising and spending intimate moments and time and building real relationships with 7 children? How do you stay married for 15 years? These are all the things that I would consider my empire. And here's the deal, man. The secret is I have not figured it out. I don't have a clue half the time what I'm doing. I'm just doing the best that I can do. But I have learned what I believe are some absolute principles, some things that are just, they're going to work, they're true, they're tried principles that are going to work for anybody in any aspect of their lives as they're trying to build their empire. So let me tell you what some of those things are. The first that I would say, if we're talking about business, okay, when I started my business, I was what I would refer to as just the ultimate opportunist, meaning that I really didn't know what my core competencies were, what I was really best at, but I did recognize a good opportunity. And one thing that I've always been good at was just capitalizing, meaning, I'm not going to sit there in paralysis of analysis. I'm going to jump at an opportunity and I'm going to take action. I've always been good at that. Where that gets you in life, I would say, and in business, is that you likely will have success because you're that take action person, but you don't really curate a business or a life based on what you really want out of it, what those goals. It doesn't really end up lining up perfectly. And you've got to navigate to be able to still end up where you want to be. And so, although that's yielded me a lot of great experiences and a lot of successes, later in my business career, I learned that you really want to craft and curate your business to suit the lifestyle and the goals that you want out of it. And so, one of the things that I've done to build my empire in terms of a business is I had to recognize a few things. First, if you want to go fast, you go alone. You don't have to check with anybody. You don't have to make decisions with anyone. You don't have to balance their desires. You just step on the gas, go, and you're going to have successes, and you're going to go fast, and you're going to do it all by yourself. If you want to go long and you want to sustain that, you need to build a team. You need to build the right network around you. And so that's one of the things that I've been focused the most on over the last, I'd say, 7 years. Is that I recognized how important it is to have an amazing team around you. So building an empire the way that you want it, if you want it to be sustainable, if you want it to be long-term, if you want it to have longevity, you have to have this team around you. And people will tell you that you just got to find talented people. I think it's important to find talented people. I think it's awesome if you can find those people. I think more importantly, you need to find people that you like, people that you trust, people that you want to be around. Because ultimately, if you're the head of the company, you need to be able to give your very best self to every project, every business, every day. And the only way that you can do that is if you're enjoying yourself, if you're excited about your work, excited about your business. And the only way that's going to happen is if you actually want to be around the people that you're going in to work with. If you actually want to be figuring out hard shit in a deal, if you want to figure out how to be creative and cutting edge and use your ingenuity, these are all things that only kind of are incubated and cultivated by you being excited about your work. And I know that comes from being around people you like and trust. And so I have learned the hard way. It wasn't a bad thing. I learned a lot from just going alone for a long time, but the best lessons that I've learned as of recently have been building this team. So I've been spending a ton of time, a ton of effort, a ton of money on building a great team around me. Executives, partners, investors. I really filtered through who the people were that were in my life and in my business, and I got rid of people that, quite frankly, just were taking more than they were giving, or I wasn't my best around them, or I didn't want to be around them, or I didn't want to spend time with them. So what I've been doing is kind of upgrading the people around me and building this team. Now, do I have talented individuals on my team? Absolutely. Like, some of these people are way more talented than I am in their core competency. But more importantly, the way that I structured and built the culture in my current company, which right now is amazing, and anybody that works in our organization will tell you that, is that I have my executive team. They do all the hiring. They do the sourcing, they do the interviews, but typically, if it's somebody coming on to the executive team, where it's somebody I have to interface with and work with on a daily basis or a weekly basis, then I'll usually have them go through at least 2 interviews with my execs and make sure that those are the qualifications are there. The things that we need for those people to do well in their position are met, and those boxes are checked. But then next, they need to be comfortable and make sure that this is somebody that they're going to be able to communicate effectively with and just want to be around. People that they like. That's it. Now, once they get to that point, they'll come in for an interview with me, and this is essentially their final interview. If they come in a sit-down interview with me, that means they've already met with the people that I trust to make those decisions on competency and make sure that they're people that they like and enjoy and want to work with. But once they make it to that interview with me, I actually don't even look at resumes, never. And because at this point, they're not going to be sitting in front of me if they're not competent, if they don't have the skills required for the position. At this point, the only point of my interview is to just sit down and see if I like this person, see if we mesh, see if there's synergy. And this is somebody that I can communicate with often, and that I can be around, I can enjoy, that we can not only work super hard with, but have a ton of fun with. Because that's the key for me in building an empire, building it with quality, building it with the quality of life, is being around people I like and I trust. And I think what you'll find is that as you grow or say climb the ladder of hierarchy in business, you're gonna find that most of the people at the top are the same way. They wanna work with people that they like and people that they trust. You always hear these people talk about, he doesn't have to work anymore. I don't have to work anymore. Look, man, if you're at that point in your life, here's the bottom line. You sure do. You sure as hell do. You know why? Because you probably didn't get there unless that's in you. If you're not the type of person where you're like, I need this, I need to be doing this because it's your identity, because it's what makes you excited and what makes you happy, it makes you feel fulfilled, then you probably haven't got to that point where financially, fiscally, you actually don't need to work. People say that. Most of the time it's a sales pitch for their course, but the real people that don't actually need to work for their money anymore, they will always do deals, they'll always work, and they will always try to surround themselves with good people. And the reason that they're doing that is because at that point, they don't need to do every deal. They don't need to take every opportunity like I did when I was young. I'd take money from anybody. I'd take any deal that looked like I could make a buck. That was being an opportunist. But crafting and curating your life and building a real quality, legitimate empire means that now you get to pick and choose. Now you get to choose what kind of deals I want to do, who do I want to deal with and do them with. And that goes from your employees to your business partners, to your investors, to your vendors. I mean, you have options, right? There's so many incredible quality people in this world. And for you, you need to decide what you want out of life in building your empire, and then stack the deck in your favor with the right people, with the right relationships. That's the most important part. So for me, what I'm building in my organization, and I think this is so cool, is that I have multiple people reach out from outside of our organization, and they're trying to get a hold of the boss. And most of the time, I actually don't even hear about this. And the reason that they don't get in contact with me, and they typically are speaking to somebody on my team that's the boss, is because I wanted to build an organization, and I truly believe I have, We are going in the right direction. We're not anywhere near where we want to be and where we will be. But what's so cool is I've built an organization where the people on the outside, they don't know who the boss is. They can't tell who the boss is because all my people are bosses. They're so good at what they do, and they take ownership of their position and their role. And I feel like that is a key element to being successful in building a business empire, is crafting, curating the team, having an organization of leaders that are all bosses, so people can't even tell who the boss is. When people call and they ask for somebody in my organization and they think that that's the boss, that makes me so happy because that means I'm doing things right. So I would say that would be the number one thing in building your business empire. Surround yourself with the right people, empower those people, give them rope, give them an opportunity to shine and to show you how good they can be. Don't put them on a short leash. If you have to have somebody on a short leash, they're probably not the right person. They're probably not the right person in your organization. So give them a leash and give them some rope and let them do their thing. And I think you'll be really, really impressed on how quickly your organization will explode. And it'll get bigger than you, way bigger than you. And that's, kind of the momentum that we're in right now, but I think it's really exciting. And so when we talk about building an empire, I would say business, that's the first part. In terms of relationships, in terms of home, people ask that same thing. Look, there is no chance that I could be doing what I'm doing on a business level, the time and the commitment that I'm putting in, traveling all over the country all the time, 12, 14, 18-hour days in the office with a big family at home, if I didn't have a partner, a spouse that was a boss. And that's what she is. And I'm not saying, you hear people all the time like giving shout outs to their wife or their girlfriend, significant other, just like for brownie points so that they feel good. And look, my wife, she probably will never listen to this. She'll probably never hear this message. And she sure as hell isn't going to give me a big hug and a kiss and say, oh, honey, that was so nice that you said that on your podcast, because one, she won't hear about it. And if she did, it's not who she is anyway. So what I'm trying to tell you, I'm telling you this because it's real and it's true. If you don't have somebody in your corner that can handle their shit, that can literally just boss up and take care of the kids, take care of the home, take care of that part of your life and do it independently while cheering for you and while supporting you, there's no way you're gonna meet your goals. And if you wanna be able to have this incredible family life and business life, you better make damn sure that you got the right person as a partner. When I talk about building a team, it's not just your business, it's your home. You gotta have the right partner. You gotta have the right teammates. And that gives you the ability now to be able to, like with me, I got 7 kids. For me to have a real relationship with those kids, I also have to have a spouse and a partner that allows me to go in individual efforts, to be able to go on a daddy-daughter trip or a daddy-daughter date, or that I can go spend 3 hours on the golf course with 1 or 2 of my kids independently. And that she can just handle that and not be jealous and not be insecure. There's a lot I know that sounds crazy, but there's a lot of people that do that. They don't want to share. They feel like this, your spouse is getting a one-up on you with their child. That's just a terrible attitude. It's a terrible place to operate from, and it'll never serve you. And so you need to have the right people on your team in business and in your family. And in my opinion, that's how you build an empire. The last thing that I'm gonna touch on, and I really truly believe that this is probably one of the most important parts, it's the thing I struggle with the most in this whole holistic building an empire thing, is your health. It's your mental health, it's your physical health, your body, your mind, and they're one and the same. And it's funny because when you're young and you're spry and you can eat whatever the hell you want and your body really doesn't reject it and it just keeps going through college, Papa John's pizzas every night and everything else, you just figure that out. But as you get older, your body doesn't react the same way. You don't recover as quick from a night of too many beers. You don't feel the same after pounding a pizza. You don't, your body just acts differently. And so you hear elder people tell younger people all the time that you really need to prioritize your health. Well, if you don't want to listen to them, maybe you listen to me. Here's the deal. I'm still fairly young, I'm 38 years old, but I've learned in the last 5 years more than anything that your health is the most critical part of you being successful. And I don't mean you have to be, show ready, 6-pack abs. That'd all be great. And it's a great representation of the discipline and the effort and the work that you'll put into your body as an investment. But I'll tell you right now, if you watch what you're eating, if you get the sleep and the rest that you need, and really if you're not putting shit into your body, and that's not just food, that's alcohol, that's drugs, that's all that shit like that people mess around with when they're young. I don't know one person, even the most successful people I know, that will sit down in an honest conversation, and if they say, hey, look, I'm my best when I haven't been drinking. I'm my best when I'm not doing drugs. I'm my best when I'm not eating shitty. I'm eating clean. I'm my best when I'm exercising consistently. Every person I know that's honest with themselves will tell you those things are true. And as you get older, you will see it more glaring in your body, in your mind, and this is the first step that you're gonna take. If you wanna change your life, if you wanna build an empire, get your body right. Make it a priority. Get healthy, lose the weight, start little by little, a little exercise, clean up your diet, get rid of the shit in your life, the drugs, the alcohol, whatever it is. All those things are holding you back. As soon as you can do that, your body will feel better. It will process everything better. You'll have more energy, you'll have more vigor, you'll have a better attitude because it all flows up to your brain. You'll have more clarity of mind. You'll be able to see the big picture better. Your goals will become crystal clear to you if you'll make your body and your health a priority. These are the 3 things that I wanted to talk about because I believe these are the catalysts of building your empire.
This show was created with the sole purpose of being able to inspire other people and to be able to give back.